Holy crap. I need to talk about my Ed Sheeran concert because listen, it is so important, and I just think if you're on the fence or even if you're not on the fence and you don't want to go, you should go. You should go to the Ed Sheeran concert. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I think I teared up at least 4 times, was not expecting that. It was such a last minute decision to go, and I am so glad I went because it was one of my favorite nights, honestly. I watched him in night 3 in Toronto, so his final night, and it was a very rainy, grimy night. And even then, I'm like, what if it's just good and I regret not going? It wasn't just good, it was excellent, mind blowing, blew my socks off, just really changed me for the better, genuinely. And that's the power of good music and a good musical talent, which Ed Sheeran is. So, yeah, if you're on the fence in the shortest Spark Notes version, go, 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 get the tickets. Get the tickets for Ed Sheeran, okay? Now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to talk about the concert and my experience at Ed Sheeran Night 3 in Toronto. Okay, first, this man, the reason why it's called a loop tour is because he's looping all the music and building up on it on his own. And he explains that at the beginning of the show, so it's really amazing because you get to experience firsthand the raw talent of how Ed kind of loops the music, builds up on it, and it just creates a really, really, really beautiful atmosphere. And each show is live, so the loop that is done during the show is deleted, and he does it again at each one of his shows. Extremely impressive, plus his vocals are insane. And I think the music, like, obviously that was top notch, and just it felt like a spiritual experience. It really did. And I always say that is the point of concerts, okay? But more than that, what I enjoyed even more was he was so interactive with the audience. This is the most interactive I've seen an artist be. Between most songs, he would share a tidbit, whether it was about himself or like the artist he worked with, or just a little fact, story, what have you. And he has that quintessential British humor. So I was extremely entertained, and he just comes across like such a humble, down to earth guy who is extremely talented, is sharing that with the world. And he has really good stories to back up how the songs came to be, which just makes me appreciate the songs and the lyrics even more. He started right on time. I will say that I think I have been spoiled with the concerts I've been to this year. Bruno Mars started right on time. Hilary Duff started right on time. Ed Sheeran started right on time, and that is not something I've experienced with artists before. So, if you're going to a show, show up on time because that man's gonna be out and about. Okay. Well, obviously, this was a large, large, large venue. He did his concert at the Sky Dome in Toronto. This concert felt so intimate, and you really have to appreciate how much effort and intention it takes for an artist to make a large ass concert to feel intimate. And that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like I was at a bar watching a singer share his music with us and share the lore behind the music, and it just felt deeply personal, deeply intimate, and just it was raw talent. So he really is a magician in terms of making you feel all the emotions, from the extremes like happiness to the sadness, and you're jumping at one point, you're dancing, you're doing the Irish jig in between. It is just phenomenal. It is incredible. The music is insane, genuinely, in the best way possible, and you will have the time of your life. You will feel all the emotions, you will have all the feels. And I am so much more obsessed with Ed Sheeran. Like, I've always loved him commercially, but going to the concert made me appreciate how much of a raw talent he is, how much effort he puts in for the audience, as well as how down to earth, and just his humor is so good. He's down to earth, and he just seems like a good lad, honestly. For example, he did talk about his friend Jamal, who passed away, and he talks about his experience with that, and that's how the song, with the lyrics "Dancing with My Eyes Closed" kind of came to be. And then he also touches on that story a little bit when he's talking about a while ago when he was sued for copyright infringement, and he had his old phone to go through, and he does a really good job of just intertwining like how the songs came to be, plus the personal struggles that he had and what he went through. And he genuinely is so good at sharing the story, making the story not only making you feel the emotions of the story, but also talking about the lesson that he feels like he took away. And he shares that with the audience. And the storytelling, top notch, songs, top notch, music, top notch. So it really did feel like a spiritual experience. I mean, to go to a concert and experience all the highs and all the lows that another person went through, and also experience the dance, the music, the rhythm. Like, it's raw talent in its true form. And I keep saying that this is what concerts are about, and that is exactly what an Ed Sheeran concert is about. Also, there's a portion of his concert where he does a bunch of songs that people vote in for, which is something I haven't seen before, and I love it. So he has two stages, stage and B, and he does a great job of going back and forth. So, and I'm gonna go off on a tangent a little bit. This is what I mean. Hilary Duff, that concert ruined my vibes for concert, and I'm so glad I went to Ed Sheeran, and it cleansed my palate, because Hilary Duff's version of bonding with the audience was watching her drink wine and eat a hot dog, and it's like, no ma'am, this is not what this is about. Anyways, I know I don't need to compare, but I am going to compare, because as a concert goer, like, we have experiences, and a lot of times they can be relative. I mean, just that aspect of it, because this was a great, excellent, life-changing concert on its own. But so there is a period where he does a bunch of songs that people vote in for, so that was really nice to see. And then he does, like, someone asked for the Martin Garrix song. He started doing that so down to earth, just genuinely, how many times can I say down to earth? But like, he was so straight up about like tuning the guitar, not tuning the guitar, but like remembering the chords on his own, because it's obviously not a song that he's does regularly in his set. And he tells a story about how it came to be with Martin Garrix, and how Martin is like the nicest guy. And then another thing I didn't know is how many bangers, like radio bangers, I have loved, and that are written by Ed Sheeran. So there's a portion where he's like, he didn't think he would make it out necessarily as a musician, but writing, like, he was kind of okay at. So like, maybe that's what he would focus on. And then he uses that to kind of segue into singing the songs that he has written for other artists. And even then he's like, so I hope you guys enjoy it. If you don't, have fun. Like, obviously he's saying that like in just like good, yeah. But he's done East Side, the Justin Bieber song Love Yourself is by him. Just so much. I was like, how are some of my favorite songs by other artists written by you? And watching him sing that was crazy. Watching him sing a lot, like Galloway Girl, incredible with his band. They are talented as hell. To the surprise of everyone, he talks about the song that impacted him when he was a teenager, and he brings out Isaac Slade, okay? And they sing How to Save a Life together. That song has been such an impactful song from when I was younger. I still remember that song so vividly. So watching that live and singing it with them too felt healing. Like, it was cathartic, it was healing, it was everything I needed. So insane. Watching him sing and build on the music or instrumentals for I See Fire was spiritual, okay? Spiritual experience. Honestly, I've always loved him. I loved his songs on the radio, never skipped them. I loved that he was one with the Grime UK scene, like he's one of the lads, like with Stormzy and stuff. But this concert really made me appreciate of just how valuable and talented he is as a musician, and what a stand-up guy he comes across as. And we laughed, cried, jumped, did the Irish jig, felt all the emotions in between, and just, it was such a treat. It felt so special. It felt spiritual, which I know I've repeated like multiple times, but if you have the privilege or the option of going, do it, because I am still thinking about this concert, and it really did heal something in me. So Ed Sheeran concert, I think, is top notch. This year, Bruno and Ed are neck to neck in terms of like how much I love them commercially, but how talented they are as just people and musicians. But Ed has a special talent of making it feel so intimate, like you're in a bar, and it's just phenomenal.